So we first have to configure the Ubuntu and download the vulnerable kernel. So you go to the link that will be attached to the reproduction file or in the description of the video. So you just follow the link and download the required deb files. Then you want to make a folder for these files. I just named it kernel. And then you need to find a way to put this on a cloud or find a way to get it to the Ubuntu that we are going to install. I just put in Google Drive for this video. Then we need Ubuntu 22.04.3. This version works for me. The exploit requires kernels from 5.14 to 6.6, and a few of them are patched. Most Ubuntus that you're going to get out the box will not come with the vulnerable kernel. That's why we installed the other kernel. We just go to this link that I'm going to add to the reproduction guide or the description as well. And I'm using workstation 17. So you would just create this as if you were creating any other virtual machine. And then you set it up. Make sure to, when you set up, you do not allow download updates. And then you create the account. I just named it target. Password will just be admin since this is for a lab. This is going to be the admin account of the system, the root account. Once you're in, you're going to want to start finding that kernel folder you made earlier. So for me, I just logged into my Google account, into my Google Drive, and just downloaded it. Once you have the kernel folder downloaded, just unzip it, make a new folder called kernel, or just rename the folder you're in currently. Once you've done that, you're going to want to put the new kernel folder under your home directory. You don't actually have to, but you know, just for simplicity. Then we're going to just do uname r just to check which kernel we're running. As I said earlier, all the out-the-box Ubuntus aren't going to be on a vulnerable kernel. So we're going to want to unpackage the kernel and set it up. Once you have that set up, you're just going to want to reboot. For workstation 17, you just want to hold shift to get into grub, and then you want to boot into the correct kernel version. And then once you're in, you can obviously just check again. As you can see, I'm in the correct vulnerable kernel. So you're going to want to check the NF table support, make sure that's all good, and check the user namespace. It should give you 1. If it gives you 0, you're going to have to go on the internet and figure that out. Then you want to lock the vulnerable kernel, though this doesn't work. Really, you would need to remove the vulnerable kernel just so there's only the vulnerable kernel. For the sake of the demonstration, it doesn't really matter. Once you've done all this, you've configured it, everything's correct, you want to create this new user. For this demonstration, we're going to be an unprivileged user named attacker. The password will just be password. We're going to download the exploit as that unprivileged user, though you could technically download the exploit and set it all up on another computer and then just SSH over to the unprivileged user account, or just gain access to this unprivileged user account through other means. But just for the demonstration, I'm going to do it all on one system. When you've created the attacker account, you just want to confirm that it doesn't have the sudo capabilities, and you can do that by removing sudo. It shouldn't have it anyway. You can log into the other account, or just try sudo. Shouldn't work. You can also do enter who am I to get the group IDs. Once that's all done, you want to switch back into the target account, the root account, and you want to install all the requirements. So you're going to need Musel tools and Git, GCC, and Make. Once you have successfully downloaded the requirements as the target user, you want to log back into the attacker user, and then from there you want to download the GitHub repo. The link will be in the description or inside the reproduction instructions, though you can just search up the CVE-2024-1086 and then it should be one of the first repos. Confirm that the CVE directory that you just got from GitHub matches what I have on the screen. Once that's all downloaded, power off your device. After a successful shutdown, you want to go back to your virtual machine manager. In my case, that would be workstation 17. From there, you want to go to the settings of the Ubuntu we configured. In the settings, you're going to want to remove the network adapter. Noisy network can damage the exploit. At this point, we've configured everything, so we're ready to start the exploit. Reboot the Ubuntu and log back into the attacker account. Confirm that the Ubuntu is using the correct kernel. In my case, it isn't, so I have to reboot holding Shift to set the correct kernel. Log back into the attacker account and reconfirm. In my case, I'm good now. You want to cd into the CVE directory. From there, you want to type make. This will call the make function and make the exploit. If at any point it's not working but you've already made, you can enter make clean to wipe the exploit. Now you want to call the exploit function. If your virtual machine breaks at spraying, you can go into the config files of the exploit and modify the spray amount. For larger distros, you might need to increase the spray amount. So I did get into the root shell, so the exploit worked, but since we're running this on a virtual machine, the virtual machine becomes unstable and it eventually freezes, so I have no way of collecting any evidence